In this video, we're going to look at the Atem Mini Pro and the software control that you have with this. We're going to talk about downloading it. Let's see, all the things that we're going to go through in this video. We'll be looking at the download, looking at installing it, the two different softwares, their setup and their software control, hooking it up via USB-C and hooking it up via Ethernet port or an Ethernet switch. So basically the Atem Mini Pro, when you get it, you can do a lot just from the interface right here, but you can do so much more using the software that's built into it. So let me just kind of show you really quick what that software looks like, and then we'll go in and I'll show you how to download it. But this is the software right here, and it's got just a lot of different features in it. As a matter of fact, I can use this to switch. So if I click this, it actually switched to my camera. I didn't even have to use the built-in one here. I'm able to have it just like that. So there's lots of things that you can do with this, and it's got more. The software has more capabilities than just the hardware device, though the hardware device is actually very, very nice. So let's look at how to download this and where to download it and how to install it and all that kind of thing. So if you go to the internet and you just type in Blackmagic design, then it's going to take you to, you can just go to the Blackmagic page right here. And then once you're on here, you're going to go up to this tab labeled support, click on support. And then in this window here, you're going to type in Atem, let's just type in Atem Mini Pro. Actually, any Atem product is probably going to work with it. Now, I searched from that, and you may not have noticed it, but it actually did refresh down here. Depending on the size of your screen, sometimes, you know, when you search for something, it actually, the top portion here does not change. So I noticed that that it actually can be kind of confusing. So just make sure you scroll down a little bit. And then right here, you can see the Atem Switcher 8.4. That's what at the time of this recording, what that is. And actually, I think that I'm due for an update. So I will do that as well. So I'm going to click on Windows right now. And if you want to, you can fill out this information and register your product right now. And you don't have to though, but right now I'm going to just hit download only. And then it's going to say to download this, I'm going to save it. Oops, I already clicked it twice. So it's going to save it up here. And it looks like it says 46 seconds left. It's 1.3 gigs. So depending on your internet speed, it might take a minute to download. And then once it downloads, I will look at it and to hook it up. But let me just go here really quick to my software control now and see if I can look and see what I have. So version 8.3 or 8.2.3 is the software version that I have right now. So you can see that I did that a few weeks ago. I updated that. So it actually does have some updates pretty regularly that come out online. So make sure you whenever you get your unit, make sure that you go ahead and update this, because there's already going to be some bugs that this is fixed before, so that way you don't have to work through your bugs. It's already fixed a bunch of stuff. So if you were on 8.1, there's going to be additional features and things that have been added to this, and it seems like Blackmagic's pretty good at helping with that. So I'm going to click on this, and you're going to need some sort of software to unzip this. I use, I think it's a WinRAR evaluation copy. You don't have to pay for it. And then I'm going to click on this right here, install, and it's going to unpack this for me to be able to install the software. And let's see, let me go out. Oh, it's over here. Sorry, I'm on multiple different windows, so it's preparing to install. I'm going to try to get it to over the window where you guys can see. So it'll pop up this message here, and I'm going to click next, and I'm going to click next again. I'm going to hit accept terms. I'm going to click next, and I'm going to hit install. And it's going to install the software, and then it gives me this installation message right here, which says, please uninstall the following Blackmagic design products before installing this version. And so I'm going to it exit it out of here. So if you've already got a if you've already got it installed, you need to uninstall it. So let me go ahead and uninstall this. So I'm going to go to on Windows, add and remove programs, and let me pull that over here where you can see it. So I'm going to go down here on add and remove programs to Blackmagic Atem switchers. And I'm going to uninstall this right here. Now you're not going to have to do this if you have this is the first time you've downloaded this. Automatically close application and attempt to restart after the setup is complete. I'm going to click OK. And so it is going to go through its, did it start? Oh, yep. There's that window again. It says, do you want to allow to make changes? Click yes. And it is uninstalling this right here for me. So, and again, if you are just now doing this for the first time, you don't have to do this. This isn't something that you wouldn't have to uninstall anything if you haven't installed it before to begin with. But that's where I'm at right now, and it is almost done uninstalling. And then basically what we'll have to do is restart the computer, and we'll be able to open it back up and install the new one, and then we'll have to restart the computer again. But this is the process that it takes for you to go through. It says you must restart your system to configure. Okay, so I'm going to click yes, and it's going to turn off my computer there. That's why the screen went blank. I'm going to go over here and start up my computer. Log in. Okay, here is my computer, and find my downloads folder. And so I'm going to go back and try that again right here. Pulls up this pop-up. I'm going to install the Atem like that. And it is installing. It even pulled up the website here, which I don't need to do. All right. And I'm looking around. It's probably going to give me a pop-up. Yep. Here's the installer popping up. And then now I'm going to walk through that same process I did just a minute ago. Next, next, accept, next, install. It's probably going to say, do you trust this? And I'm going to say, yes. Yes, I do. I do trust this. There we go. And now it's saying, do you want to trust this? I say, yes, I do. And it is going to update it. And then it's going to probably tell me to restart my computer again. Okay, and it says again, restart your computer. I'm going to click yes, and I'm back to a blank computer screen as it is restarting right now. So bear with me as it restarts. Okay, I am right now. Let's go back here, and I will pop that up again. But let me see here. Okay, I'm going to close these tabs. Okay, on the, you're not going to be able to see this because I don't have a way to share this this window. But I'm going to go to my search bar, and I'm going to just type in Atem. And there's two things. The first one I'm going to click is called Atem Setup. And that's what this is right here, the Atem Setup. And it should, if you've got this hooked up to properly, which I'll show you in a second to make sure how to do that, it should just pop up. And you can see here that it's got a couple different buttons here. And let's see, it says update available. You can still use your switcher if you don't update. Would you like to update your switcher now? Actually, yes, I will update my switcher, and that will update the actual unit. All right, so it updated this here. It updated the unit itself right here, and it went black for a minute because when the unit itself is being updated, it will shut it down to restart it. But let's go ahead, and I'm going to click done here. Now this is up to date, and so I've got both my Atem and I've got the software installed on my computer. So we're good to go now. Okay, it said that I needed an update, but I actually, I didn't. I did not need an update there. Okay, so when you pull up the Atem setup, there's a couple things that you can do with the Atem setup. Okay, you can configure inside the Atem setup. There's cut bus and program preview, and let me just show you what that looks like. On this is the switcher right now. I'm going to pull up my other camera. Whatever I switch here, whenever I click on new one, it's just going to go straight to the camera. Okay. Now, if I go to on the software and I say I want this to be a program preview and I hit save, then what's going to happen when I go to this, you can see here now I have two different colors. I've got a green and I've got a red. Red is always your go. Red is always your live, okay? So if I hit green on 3, basically what it's saying is the next thing you're going to go to is 3. So when I click cut, it's going to go to camera 3. And as you can see, it's green. So the green is like in the can, ready to go. I hit cut again. So if you have like a 2-camera shot, let me go to that one. If you have a 2-camera shot, this is a great way to do it because you can just hit cut, 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 cut. And you don't have to worry about which input to press. So let me go back to, let me go back to this guy. And then you could also, hit auto, and you could go auto back and forth here. So if I did these two, this is auto back and forth. Let me hit mix, so it's transitioning that way. So very, very cool. So on this, again, that is the, on the software control. When you click on that, I'm going to hit continue. I'm not sure why it's still saying update. In the configure tab there, that's where you'll do that. You'll do cut bus or program preview. And it's a feature that it's interesting. It should be, in my opinion, as a part of the main software, but it's only in the setup portion of it. So that's important to know. I'm going to click. I have 2 ways now to get to the software itself. I could go to the search bar and type in Atem and then open software control, or if I'm already in setup, I can just hit this and it's going to open it up. And it's saying that I can open this up or do the software update. I just did the software update, so I'm not sure why that's saying that. And this is the software control here, and you're ready to go with, again, all these different things. So I could change to whatever the case is right here using, let me go back to it, using these buttons. I was able to do that. So there's multiple things you can do. You can, like, for example, I could transition. I'm going to fade here to, let's do preview of this camera here. And I could use this T-bar is what it's called, to fade. So I could do some cool stuff like that. I think that is pretty cool. I could turn on and off my picture-in-picture here by pressing that button there. I can load in extra graphics, extra pictures. I can set up this picture-in-picture here over on the side. There's just so much that can happen with the software control. And we'll dive deep into software control in another video. But I really wanted to talk about how to connect this. And so in order to even do any of the stuff that I just said, you have to be able to connect the software. You have to have it connected to your computer. And there are 2 different ways to do that. The first is through a USB-C port. So on your computer, you've got, or on the Atem, you've got a USB-C, and you could just take a USB-C and plug it into your computer, and it'll start talking to each other. It'll automatically find itself in there using the USB-C cable. You'll have to use a USB-C to whatever your computer is. So my computer uses USB-A ports, and 3.0 is what you really want. Is you want a 3.0 connection, not the 2.0 USB, but 3.0 USB. This is where you can use this to be a webcam. This is where you can use this to, if you wanted to stream via OBS or another sort of software, you could use that as well. So that's one way to connect to the software control, is through USB-C. But the preferred way that I think is using this Ethernet port right here on the back is the way to go, for a couple reasons. Number one is, you're able to do two different things with this, and it opens up your USB-C to be able to record. So, for example, my USB-C right here is recording onto this hard drive back here, and all I have to do is hit this record button to record, which we'll talk about in another time. But if I was using this as a webcam, I would not be able to also record onto that hard drive back there. As well as if I use the Ethernet port down here, I'm able to, let me see if I can even take a picture of it, how well it's going to come across. But back there, you can see that thing blinking a little bit. That is my switch. And so that is an Ethernet switch. So let me try to get as close as I can with this camera. And that is just a Netgear, cheapest Netgear 5-port switch that you can buy. And what this allows you to do is plug in, use your Ethernet for multiple different things. So, for example, this switch I have plugged in to my Ethernet coming in it, as well as I have an Ethernet going to my PC and the Ethernet going to the Atem right here. And what's great about it is when this is plugged into that switch, and that switch is also plugged into the computer, they talk to each other. So now this software control is being talked to my computer through that Ethernet port instead of the USB-C. So, and the additional feature that it's able to do is it's able to stream from the Atem Mini Pro out via USB and talk to the computer at the same time. So that is really, really neat. That may not sound like a big deal, but that is really cool that it's able to do that. Because it's instead of having multiple ports in the back doing different things, it's able to use that if you use a switch. So I highly recommend that you get a switch to plug in for your Ethernet port, and then that opens up your USB-C on the back here to be able to record out instead of just using it as a webcam. Now, one thing to talk about is sometimes you'll have everything plugged up and your computer doesn't recognize the Atem Mini Pro. So what that looks like is, let me just do this really quick. I'm going to unplug this USB-C port, and you'll see what the computer does. It will see it went black like that. No switcher connected. Sometimes, even when you have this set up and it's been working before, I don't know if it's the order that things have to get turned on or what, but sometimes your computer will get this and it will not recognize that you have anything plugged up into it. If you just simply unplug your Ethernet cable and then plug it back in, I don't know what it does, but it sends a signal to the computer that it says I'm here, and then it just did it. It popped up there. So I'm going to do that one more time when I'm looking just at this. I'm going to unplug it. It's going to go away, and then as soon as I plug this back in, it's going to go, oh, here I am, and it's going to switch on there. So that's something that's very important to know, because I had dealt with that. I was like, why isn't this talking? I was trying to figure everything out, and that is the solution. I know it's not the most elegant solution, but that is the solution for that. In order to make sure that you're connected to this too, if you go to File in the software and you go down to Connections, you can see here Atem Mini Pro right there, and then you can hit connect to it. So if for some reason you again had this screen here where it was black or didn't have a connection, and you go up to File and Connections, you'll see the Atem Mini Pro on there, and you'll be able to click that and then hit connect, and it'll pull up. And another thing you can do is on here, if for some reason it's still not reading, it can be a good idea right off the bat. It finds its own IP address and it's got everything written in here, but it may be beneficial for you to use a manual IP address, and you'll just have to find an open IP address on your Ethernet or the internet of what your switch, your network is what I'm trying to say, an open IP address on your network to be able to use that. But for the most part, you should be able to just keep it on the Atem switch name, hit connect, and then you're good to go there. So that's how to connect everything up. And this was kind of a long video, but I found that that's actually one of the biggest hurdles that people have getting over is how do I even connect all this stuff here. So hopefully that was helpful to you. If it was, please subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of content and this has been helpful to you. And if you have any ideas of either Atem videos or live streaming videos that questions you might have, I'd be happy to maybe try to make a video that would help you out. So Kennis Russell out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.